Welcome into Yelling from the Couch. I'm Brent Humphreys, joined by my co-host Gage Bertovich, and we are here for the Week 3 NFL Pick'em. Gage, how you doing? You had a pretty good week for your college and NFL team last week, man.
I'm feeling good. Coming off a backyard brawl win and then a Steeler win, and not too bad in the pick'ems. I've had a week. It's been pretty good. How are you doing?
Doing okay. My weekend obviously did not go as good as yours did. My college team, Kentucky, lost by 1 to Georgia in a good effort, and then the Bengals lost to the Chiefs by 1. So both teams lost by combined 2 points. So that's just wonderful. What a great weekend of football, just great again.
At least the Kentucky game wasn't a blowout like we thought it would be.
No. I thought for sure that they was going to lay down and be done with it, but they didn't. They hung in and, punt with 3 minutes left, give the ball back to Georgia. Bad decision, I think, but still, at least they put up a fight, and at least there'll be something to watch for the rest of the season. It won't be like, all right, that's over with. Wait till Sunday. But Sundays hasn't been great for me either, so I don't know.
Yeah, you're not. You really got some bad stuff going on for you in football right now.
At least I
don't know what's going on.
At least I've got the red. Never mind. We'll forget about them too. Oh man. Last week in these pick'ems, I went 7-8, and Gage, you went 8-7.
All right.
The deciding factor in this was the Monday night game, where Gage had his upset special pick of the week. He picks the Falcons. He went with Kirk Cousins in primetime, and it paid off. Wow. How does that happen?
That was something that when I made the pick, it didn't click in my mind that, this is Kirk Cousins, this is primetime. This is probably going to go awful. So I'm glad it didn't click in my head because I would have picked Philly if I had thought about it.
Man, Saquon, just catch the ball, man. You're right there. You end the game with that catch.
That, and you don't have to take that deep shot at the end when Jalen threw the last pick. You have a great kicker. Get into field goal range. You don't need the 35 yards or however long it's going to be.
Sirianni trying to outsmart everybody. That's his downfall there.
Yeah. God. Yeah. Man, a lot of questionable decisions this weekend all around the NFL and different teams.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, so, Pittsburgh had a big win, against Denver. You called him Bo Picks last week when you were making your pick, and he lived up to it.
Yeah.
Did you see after the game when the interview said, Bo, could you please take me through that interception that you had? And he was like, I forgot how he worded it. It's like, went back to throw the ball, and the other team caught it. And that was it. And I was like, that's great. That's great. Great answer.
How else can you answer that? Because it's like, I thought the guy was open. Apparently he wasn't. Other team caught it. Like, what else do you want to know from that?
Yeah, like it's simple and simple as can be. Just you ask a dumb question, I'm going to give you a straightforward answer. It's about time somebody answers that way. But
I liked reading it on like Instagram, ESPN, whatever. They put up the graphic of the quote first, and then the video of it, and it's just like dropped back, threw it to the other team. I'm like, there's no way he said that. Then I watched the video. I'm like, yeah, he said that.
He was like, drop back, threw the ball to the other team. Next
question.
I like Bo Nix now. I'm glad somebody just answers it straightforward. Maybe he won't be Bo Picks anymore, or maybe he will, and that's just what he's known for. And we keep getting answers like that in interviews. I don't know.
Hey, if he gives great interviews after the game, I'm all for it. Why not?
Man, you've got to love that defense, though, in Pittsburgh.
Oh, if we didn't have that good of a defense, we would have lost, these first two games. We would have had 4 wins with Kenny Pickett in both years. It's phenomenal when you have probably the best edge rush duo in the league. top safety in the league, great corners that I expected that to be kind of the weak point of the defense is the corners. Number one is Joey Porter Jr., but only a second-year kid. After that, you have Dante Jackson, who was getting burnt all the time in Carolina, comes to Pittsburgh, and now he's doing great. So I couldn't ask for anything better right now from the defense.
Yeah, defensive-wise, offense obviously needs a little bit of work there, but, as long as that defense is playing like it is, do you really need an offense?
Hey, Fields has been turnover-free right now. He's completing close to 75% of his passes, running when he has to. Did you watch the game last week, or were you?
No, I didn't.
It was the same time as the Bengals game.
Yeah, I was obviously watching a different game at that point in time, but I see the highlights and stuff like that. But it seems like they're not asking him to do a whole lot on offense either. So.
No, and I'm sure the one thing they didn't show on the highlights is Broderick Jones, second year, I think right tackle. He was great last year, and he killed one drive with 3 back-to-back-to-back holding penalties. There was one, I don't know how Fields completed it to Pickens on the sideline. He threw it, the defender was all over, and it just, boom, right in the hand. Yep, holding. They're like, okay, well, it's stuff like that I hate. Like, Fields, I think, only ended up with like 113 passing yards or whatever.
Yeah.
The 3 holding plays don't get called. He's close to 200. Like, it's insane.
Yeah, it's like the other night watching the Philly game, like, it was like false start, offense. Next play, false start, offense. Like, next play, illegal motion, offense. It's like, wow. It's like that might need to clean some of that stuff up. It's early in the year. A lot of teams getting some silly penalties and stuff. So maybe they'll, quit holding so much, or maybe the refs will let them slide a little bit more as the season goes on. They're just like starting out like we're going to call everything. Then, maybe that'll slack up a little bit.
Or we'll just keep calling illegal formation at least, 4 or 5 times a game.
Why not?
And not tell the players what they're doing wrong.
Yeah. That's never been so many illegal formations I've ever seen. Like, I don't think there was this many the whole season last year as there's been through 2 weeks of the NFL so far. It's crazy.
Oh, heck no. And I like the call. It's like, oh, illegal formation. So-and-so was lined up in the backfield. He was 3 yards off the line of scrimmage. Don't say he was lined up in the backfield. Come on.
And so my team lost to the Chiefs on, the pass interference on 4th and 16. He did get there before the ball did. I agree. It was pass interference. But I don't think that was the key to the game there, lost. Burrow fumbled a ball that was returned for a pick 6. Kansas City had a backup right tackle catch a touchdown pass. And Joe Burrow, what I thought the key play was, it was a 3rd and 4, and the slot corner comes in on a blitz and sacks Burrow, and Burrow never picks up that blitz. They give the ball back to KC. KC comes down, and we all know what happens next. So, Burrow a little rusty to begin the season, I think, but, overall, you're playing an Arrowhead. It's going to be hard to win there. I'd rather lose now than later on in the season, so if they can make a return trip, get them back.
And it was definitely a better showing than the first week against the Patriots. Offense was able to score a lot. You picked off Mahomes twice. Cam Taylor-Britt had probably what's going to be catch of the year with this one-handed pick. Yeah, I agree. The penalty, pass interference, but was there illegal hands to the face with Kelsey? I don't know about that one. Hey, if you can revenge it later in the year, I think it's better to get that playoff win than the regular season win.
Yeah, absolutely. But, it's still in the moment when you're watching, it's like, ugh. Especially when your college team loses by 1 the day before to the best team in college, and then your NFL team loses by 1 to the best team in NFL. But, it is what it is, I guess.
What can we do about it?
Ruin our lives. That's what we do about it. So we will get started with Week 3. Right now, the Patriots are behind to the Jets, 14-3 on Thursday Night Football, and what is a a game. Out of all the games, this is one of them.
It is definitely a game.
Oh,
It's
man.
for sure.
I haven't noticed yet, but is Ramondre Stevenson back in? It looks like he is. I don't know. Maybe
Uh,
not.
I
No.
I don't know. I don't know what his number is.
27.
I don't. I just saw 38, so I don't know.
Maybe he's 38. He might be 38. He's 38. I don't know where I got 27. I think it's him in the
27
backfield.
sounds right.
Maybe. I don't know. That's now I've got to kind of look this up real quick. It's real time.
No, he is.
See what kind of number he is.
He is 38.
Okay, so he's back in the
Yeah.
game.
Yep.
Okay. Whew. He's not doing too good tonight.
No. To be fair, neither is the whole New England team. So
That's true. And it makes it even worse when you see this team out here like this to know that they beat your team in week one. Not your team, my team in week one.
well, you gotta figure they played great last week. I thought against Seattle, so
Yeah.
it was gonna come to where New England just stopped playing football.
Yeah. And of course, it's got to be against Aaron Rodgers.
Well, of course.
So the first game this week, 1 o'clock matchup, the New York Giants travel to Cleveland to face the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland's a 6.5 point favorite. Gage, the Giants played a close game last week, and the Browns looked decent in their win against Jacksonville. Who you got in this one?
Yeah, Giants, like you said, played a close game. They also scored 3 touchdowns in that game. You know what Washington didn't do? Score any touchdowns, and Washington still won. That I was just laughing at watching it go. And I mentioned, the Cleveland game. Obviously, we wanted Cleveland to lose. Jacksonville, they Jacksonville and dropped the ball to Cleveland. I didn't think Cleveland played that good of a game, though, at least offensively. Defensive-wise, yeah, they were pretty good. Man. I so badly want to take the Giants and just make it the upset pick, but I can't. The New York Giants, to me, are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to you. I will never pick them, and that is not starting this week. Give me Cleveland. Give me the points in this one.
The Giants got Malik Neighbors involved this past week, which, they hadn't really the week before. And like you said, they scored 3 touchdowns, and their kicker got hurt before the game, right? And they had to use their punter, I think.
I don't know what happened. I didn't even know, anything did happen until I saw people commenting about it. I'm like, huh? He got hurt? What?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they sent their punter out for the first extra point. He missed it, horribly. And then they're like, you know what? We're just going for 2. And then they couldn't convert. So, poor New York. But Cleveland, like you said, didn't play really that good, but they looked a little bit better than they did in week one, of course. Deshaun Watson, I still think that's a bad trade, and it's going to, come back to get him really soon. But I think for this week here, I think Cleveland wins it, and I think Cleveland will cover this spread as big as it is. I just think that they're probably going to pound the Giants at home.
And we got big news. They did sign a new kicker. They brought in the Vikings' former kicker, Greg Joseph. So at least they'll have someone kicking this week.
Hey, if they ever get to that spot, they'll be able to kick it this week, and I don't know if they'll be doing a whole lot of that this week. Oh, man. The next 1 o'clock matchup, the Green Bay Packers travel to Nashville to face the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee's a 3-point favorite. Gage, I think we both picked against the Packers last week, and Malik Willis coming out with a win. Who you got in this one?
Yeah, Malik came out with the win, but why did he come out with that win? Because that rushing game, oh my God, Josh Jacobs came out of nowhere. I'm surprised he didn't hit 200 yards. I really thought he was going to. But he didn't. But he still, accounted for a majority of the offensive yardage last week. In Tennessee, well, when your own head coach is berating you as a starting quarterback in your post-game interview, you got a lot going wrong right now. And it's hard for me to pick Malik Willis, but this is just going to be a bad game. I have a feeling. Give me the Packers on this one. Give me the points. I don't think Malik is going to do it. I think he's going to make more mistakes, and the head coach is going to say, "Oh, he's a man. He should know this." Blah blah blah. Well, no. Give me the Packers on this one.
So this is Malik Willis's return to Tennessee, the team that drafted him and let him go, for the guy that took over for him, Will Levis. My guy from Kentucky. Looked pretty horrible the first week. You probably won't see a worse pick six than what he had.
No.
Last week he also had a play that was just horrible as well. But I think this week they'll get that stuff cleaned up a little bit. They'll give Tony Pollard the ball a little bit more. Will Levis may make a smart decision in this game. And if he does, they win the game. Give me the Titans in this one. I think the Titans will pull it out against the Packers. And I think that they'll cover. Well, I think we'll push on that spread. I think it'll be a 3-point game. But, give me Will Levis and the Titans to get their first win of the season.
Man, already going against each other. I love it.
Here we go. The next matchup, the Chicago Bears travel to Indy to face the Indianapolis Colts. Indy's a 1.5-point favorite. Gage, Chicago almost pulled off an upset last week against Houston. Do you like for them to pull off an upset here against the Colts?
It's hard to say. Chicago played pretty good considering what we all thought that they would do. And the Colts, well, like we just mentioned, they blew it against the Packers. Anthony Richardson looked horrible. I don't know what happened, why he kept throwing the picks that he did, but he just looked awful. Thing with Anthony Richardson is I've never seen 2 back-to-back bad games from this kid. And I think that's going to continue. I don't think the Bears are going to do good enough. I don't know injury-wise. Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze, if anyone's hurt, if anyone's not playing. I'm going to assume that the team is fully healthy, and I'm going to take the Colts on this. I think Richardson gets back to his week 1 game. I think last week was just kind of a little bit of a fluke. Give me the Colts. Give me the points.
The Bears' offense so far has not looked that great this season. The defense has carried them. Last week, like I said, they come close to pulling off the upset in Houston. But just, the play, Caleb Williams, holding on to the ball way too long trying to make something happen. And it's like, man, you're not at USC anymore. You're in the National Football League. You can't hold on to the ball that long and expect you guys that hold blocks and for a positive play to happen. Rookie mistakes. Anthony Richardson, on the other hand, like you said, looked awful. After I sat there and was like, the week before, I was like, man, this guy 70 yards in the air, touchdown, looked awesome. After I dogged him all off season, he goes and proves me right there. Man, this is tough. I don't like either team, really. I don't think either one of them's that good. It's mediocre at best. But I'm going to have to go with the Colts as well on this one. Give me the Colts to win this one, and I think that they cover the 1.5-point spread, and they get their first win of the season. But it's not going to be pretty. The next 1 o'clock matchup is a battle of the undefeateds. Houston Texans travel to Minneapolis to face the Minnesota Vikings. Houston's a 2-point favorite. Gage, the Vikings had a huge upset last week over the Niners. You think they can continue that this week?
I'll tell you, someone who has surprised me this year out of every player in the league, Sam Darnold. This kid, he had that one, it was a 97-yard touchdown to Justin Jefferson last week. Hit him right in stride. It was beautiful. I don't know if this is like a quarterback goes somewhere else, revives their career type situation, or what's going on, but I have a hard time picking against CJ Stroud. Did great last week. Him and Nico Collins combined for over 115 yards. There's a touchdown in that as well. And it's hard. Vikings, you got Justin Jefferson. You got Jordan Addison. Right now, I can even say you got Sam Darnold. Throw that name out there. But what else do you got? You played great defensive-wise against the Niners. But it's a hard pick. It really is. But like I said, I can't really pick against CJ Stroud, so I'm going to go with the Texans. I'm going to take the points. But I do expect this game to be one of the games of the week.
This one's going to be a good one. One that before the season started, when you see that Sam Darnold's the quarterback, you would be like, this game's not going to be very good. Houston will run away with this. And then, Sam Darnold comes out and plays really well so far this season. Easy to play pretty good quarterback when you got Justin Jefferson to throw to. But still, you've still got to make those throws, and he has. It's looked pretty good. Houston, on the other hand, struggled a little bit with the Bears there, but the Bears' defense is decent. Houston has a really good defense as well. I'm going to take Houston in this one. Is Joe Mixon going to play? He got hurt the other night. I don't know.
I don't know the injury status of Joe Mixon.
Chain gang guy, we really need to know about him. Is he still hurt? Is he okay? Did you see him trip over the yard marker?
I saw that. I was like, oh, God, that's got to hurt.
So I walk in middle ways through this play, right? And they're showing the replay. And I see Joe Mixon running towards out of bounds. They had just showed the guy falling. And then they're showing the replay, and I'm like, oh no, Mixon's going to run into this guy, and he's going to knock him over, and this is not going to be good. And then 10 yards away, Mixon steps out of bounds, nothing. And then you look over the guy, he's tripping back on the yard marker, and I'm like, oh man, there's that. So, hope the chain gang guy's okay. But I'm taking Houston to win this one here in a close, very good game, like you said. Maybe a game of the week right here. But give me the Houston Texans to win and to cover.
So, looking at it right now, as of during the Thursday night football game, it says Mixon missed his second straight practice with the ankle injury he suffered. Damian Pierce also missed practice for the second day. So that leaves Cam Akers and Dare Ogunbowale as the healthy running backs. That doesn't change my pick, but it might change yours. I don't know.
I'll still stick with Houston on this. I think Houston's defense, I think, will be the difference in this one. Oh, man. That's your top two running backs down on the road.
Not good.
Not good. Next matchup. The Philadelphia Eagles, off of their stunning loss last week, travel to New Orleans to face the New Orleans Saints. New Orleans is a 2.5-point favorite. New Orleans has been scoring 40-some points a game. Looked very impressive. Gage, do you expect that to continue this week against the Eagles?
Yeah, so far 2 weeks, 90 points scored for the Saints. They killed the Cowboys last week when I believe we both picked them to win, which, yeah 44-17 or whatever was wow, not expected at all. And obviously we didn't expect the Eagles to lose in prime time against primetime Kirk Cousins.
You picked it.
So fair enough. But did I really expect it? No. I'm surprised to hear that the Saints are the favorites in this one, even with how much they've scored. Man. Derek Carr's been on fire. Alvin Kamara coming off a 4-touchdown game, 3 on the ground, 1 in the air. Wow. I can't believe 2024, and we're thinking that the Eagles are going to suck and the Saints are going to absolutely steamroll them. Give me the Saints in this one. Give me the points.
Man, before last week, if you would have told me that the Saints were going to be a favorite over the Eagles, I would have been like, okay, what have you been doing? Because there's no way. And then you watch both games and you're like, okay, well, maybe so. The Eagles they blew that game last week. Like I said, Saquon Barkley, you catch that ball, game's over. Like you said, there's no need to deep shot that late in the game with the lead. Mm-hmm. Saints, man, just crushed the team that, Dallas, who crushed the Cleveland Browns the week before, and everybody was like, man, Dallas Super Bowl favorites, here we go. And the Saints just wiped the floor with them. Give me the Saints in this one until they can get knocked down. I mean, how do you go against a team that scored 40-plus, or 90 points so far overall in the first 2 weeks? How do you go against them, against the Eagles team who hasn't really looked good all season? Give me the Saints in this one. Give me the Saints to cover it. Let's go. The next matchup, 1 o'clock matchup, the LA Chargers. This is another unbeaten game right here. 2-0. Travel to Pittsburgh to face the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are 2-0. Pittsburgh's a 1.5-point favorite. Gage, this game's probably going to be over with in like an hour and a half with all the running. Who you got in this
I
one?
think an hour and a half is being generous. I'd say my money's on about 90, or no, about 75 and a half minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, man. This obviously Steelers are my team, right? And they're coming off great game. Defensive wise, you allowed 6 to Denver, both field goals. But your offense, you're not clicking. You had your first touchdown of the season last week to Darnell Washington, his first touchdown of his career. Like I mentioned to you before we started, Justin Fields is completing close to 75% of his passes, playing turnover-free football. That's what you got to do to win. And no matter how ugly it is, that's Steeler football. It may be ugly, but a win's a win. Chargers, Justin Herbert sustained an ankle injury last week. I don't know what his practice status has been. Low key was maybe hoping that he would be limited or out, but it is what it is. Here it says limited in return to practice, so he's probably going to play. I don't think there's any doubt in that. J.K. Dobbins has come alive this year so far the first 2 weeks. Once again, I had him benched in fantasy last week, so he's making me regret it every week. But the Steelers defense, they've done great against the run so far. They allowed, I would say it was about 65 rushing yards last week. And in week 1, I don't remember. I'm lucky if I remember yesterday, let alone 2 weeks ago. So I don't remember that off the top of the head. But defense, they're playing great. Offense, not so much. Flip side with the Chargers, it's about the same, right? I know Quentin Johnston had 2 touchdowns last week, but the defense is the real story of that one. You got Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa both coming off the edge. Derwin James in the back. Great corners. It's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a boring game if you're an offensive fan. But if you like seeing defense, this is the game to watch. I can't go against the Steelers, though, especially this week. So give me Pittsburgh. Give me the points.
I kind of look at it like this, in college football. And it's kind of funny because they wear the same. The uniforms look the same. You probably know where I'm going with this right now. The over-under in this game is 35.5. If you look at the Iowa Hawkeyes, they love defense. Their over-unders, man, like one last year I think was like 25, and the under hit. I could see a Pittsburgh game later this year where it's like 25 or something, for the over-under. But, man, it's defense. It's running the ball. And, Jim Harbaugh, like I said, he's got a good quarterback out there, Justin Herbert. But he's not going to use him for passing. He wants to pound the rock. And he's got J.K. Dobbins, who has been pounding that rock the first 2 weeks of the season. For Pittsburgh, man, it's the defense. It's all about the defense. But I'm going to have to roll with Pittsburgh. I'm going with Pittsburgh on this one. They're at home. Give me the Steelers. They're going to cover that spread. Like I said, this game's it starts at 1 by 2:30. You could flip over to something else because it'll be over with. Everybody else will be at halftime in this game. They'll be going home. Pittsburgh will win. It's going to be like, 10-3 maybe? I mean,
maybe 2-0. Who really knows?
Maybe 2-0. Odell Cruz hits a 2-run bomb and Pittsburgh wins. Game over. Oh, man. The last 1 o'clock matchup of the week. The Denver Broncos travel to Tampa to face the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are 2-0. Tampa Bay is a 6.5-point favorite. Gage, what do you think about Bo Nix and the boys, or Bo Picks and the boys?
I'll be interested to see who you take on this one. I feel like I know, but I'll be interested to see if you actually go for Denver. Bo Picks threw 2 last week. 1 in the red zone after having that great trick play that came out of that game. And then the pick at the end to KZ. Overall, he didn't look great. And, he drops back, threw the ball to the other team. What more is there really to say about that one? Tampa Bay, they've been looking good. Baker, Chris Godwin on fire last week. The week beforehand, Baker, Mike Evans on fire. Will these two actually, connect at the same time this week. Who knows? I don't think they're going to need to, though. I think Tampa Bay is going to come out of this with a win. Give me Tampa Bay. Give me Tampa Bay, but I'll take Denver to cover.
Well, Denver last week, like you said, they scored 6. You can't really hold that against them with the defense they were going against and a rookie quarterback in the NFL. It's kind of unfair for Bo Nix, their second game, to go up against a defense like that. Tampa Bay so far, man, under new offensive coordinator, former offensive coordinator for Kentucky, Liam Cohen, they've looked pretty good in that offense. Baker Mayfield's played pretty good. He's been connecting, like you said, with Godwin, Mike Evans. Also, in this game, they have running back Bucky Irvin from Oregon. Him and his former teammate Bo Nix, they were in that backfield together, so they'll be going against each other this week. Give me Tampa Bay to win this one, and I think Tampa Bay covers. I don't think this game's even close, and oh man, I can't believe I'm going with them this early in the season.
Where did that come from?
I don't know. I blacked out for a minute, I guess. I don't know. Oh, man.
Who said that? I don't remember saying that.
Yeah, we can erase that, actually. We don't need to hear that. Let's move on.
Cut it out. Cut it out.
Cut right there at that point. All right. Let's just move on. The 4 o'clock matchups. The first one here will be Andy Dalton, just named starter this past week, in the Carolina Panthers at 0-2. Travel to Vegas to face the Las Vegas Raiders. Vegas is a 5-point favorite. Gage, do you think the Panthers have any spark with them with Andy Dalton leading the helm?
We got the Red Rocket back as a starting quarterback. We're both very familiar with the Red Rocket.
Very.
Man, I could actually see Andy Dalton being the starting quarterback the rest of the season. I could see him being good for this team. And it's weird to say. God, I want to go with the Raiders. I do. They knocked off Baltimore last week. It was phenomenal.
Yes.
But they had to make a comeback. And honestly, I didn't think they looked that good. I think Baltimore just looked awful. In his first start to the season, underdog, sleeper, pick of the week. Give me the Carolina Panthers. Give me the Red Rocket. Carolina's first win. And obviously, take the points.
Man, going with the Red Rocket there. First start of the year. I think that Carolina will look a little bit better under Andy Dalton just because of his veteran, presence there. I don't think they'll look much better, though. There's more than just Bryce Young that was the problem with that team, and I think they'll find that out very soon. Oakland. Oh, boy. Vegas.
Wow.
Vegas didn't look that great last week either. But, Gardner Minshew Mania, they come back. Antonio Pierce, just gets them guys to fight and keep fighting. And, he gets that defense out there. I'm going with Vegas in this one. And I don't think they cover, though. I'll give Carolina, they'll cover it by about 3 points. I think it'll be a field goal game, but give me the Raiders. The next matchup, I don't think I've picked an upset yet. I've went like chalk this whole time, I think, so far. Weird. Haven't went out on a limb. Oh, man. The next matchup, the Miami Dolphins and Skylar Thompson travel to Seattle to face the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle's a 4.5-point favorite. Gage, you think the Dolphins have any shot at winning this one?
No. I think that's a straight answer, no. Skylar Thompson, like you said, starting quarterback. I think they signed Tyler Huntley as well to the squad. Yeah, Pro Bowl quarterback Snoop Huntley out here. Expected them to give Ryan Tannehill a call, maybe CJ Beathard. I did not expect Snoop Huntley to join the squad. I would not be surprised to see Snoop Huntley in the game by the second half. Skylar Thompson is not good. He showed it last week. He showed it in the playoff game, 2 years ago. I think all signs are pointing to Geno Smith and Seattle. Even if Kenneth Walker doesn't play again, I don't think it's going to matter. Give me Seattle. Give me the points.
Yeah, I like Seattle in this one, too. No upset pick for me in this one either. Whoever the quarterback is, you've got to get they're going to have to run some screens or some, jet sweeps or something to get the ball in Tyreek's hands or Waddle's hands to get that speed going. Maybe, Achane, he had a pretty good game last week. And Mostert, if he's playing, you got the weapons around you, but you still got to get them the ball. And I think that's what the issue is going to be here, especially like you said with Skylar Thompson quarterbacking. He might not even finish the game. Seattle has, been pretty consistent. Like I said last week, Mr. Consistency, Tyler Lockett. He's out there. They were going to be without Kenneth Walker probably, but give me Seattle to win this one here, and I think Seattle will cover that 4.5-point spread. I don't think the Dolphins, I don't know. After watching them last week, even before the half, they were struggling big time against the Bills with Tua. So I think there's something else going on there besides just Tua's injury. The next matchup, the big matchup of the week, the big 425 matchup, the Baltimore Ravens at 0-2 travel to Dallas to face the Dallas Cowboys. Gage, have you looked and seen what the spread is on this one yet?
I have not.
Baltimore is a 1-point favorite on the road. What are you thinking on this one?
On the road, coming into Dallas, and you're the favorite. That's saying something. It surprises me considering Baltimore's 0-2. Dallas, yeah, they're coming off a giant loss against the Saints, but they still got to win. Man, I don't even know what to say. I want Baltimore to lose, obviously. Those are just great for our teams. Dallas, I mean, Cowboys fans aren't the best, but they're not the worst either. Man, will America's team win America's game of the week? I think they do. Give me the Cowboys. For some reason, give me the underdog. I don't know why. But give me Dallas in this one. Obviously, take the points. I think Dak tosses a few touchdowns, probably 2 or 3 in this one, and they do a good job keeping Lamar contained.
Oh, man. I wish I could go out on that ledge with you. I mean, it's not much of a ledge. Dallas got pounded last week. Ravens lost to the Raiders. I just don't see the Ravens going 0-3 to start the season. As much as I would love to see it happen, trust me, I would love to see it happen. But I think that they get it right this week, and Baltimore ends up beating the Cowboys. Another stat here, Lamar leads the team in rushing this season. You've spent that money on Derrick Henry to bring him in, and your quarterback is still your leading rusher. That, I think, has got to change this week in order for them to win. I think it will, and I think that they'll get that win over Dallas. Give me the Ravens. And, of course, they cover because it's only 1 point.
You sure they aren't going to win by half a point?
They might, Is there a half a safety out there or something? With the new kickoff rules, no.
If you kick it through the upright on the kickoff, it's a half a point.
Yeah,
there we go.
You get a half a point right there. So that's what's going to happen. Justin Tucker right at the end of the game. Boom. The next 425 matchup, the San Francisco 49ers travel to L.A. to face the L.A. Rams. San Francisco coming off a surprising loss last week at Minnesota. San Francisco is a 6.5-point favorite. Gage, do you like the Niners to bounce back, or do you like the Rams to get their first win of the season?
Yeah, 49ers, like you said, coming off a huge loss. So are the Rams. We did not expect them to just get hammered by the Cardinals like the way they did. Marvin Harrison just torched that defense, and it all had to happen in the first quarter. After that, it was like, we'll be hands off. But this is another hard one to pick. Kyron Williams didn't get much going last week. I believe the leading rusher for the Rams was Blake Corum. He got those touches that I said he would. But you're now without Puka. You're without Cooper Kupp. Who is your number one? I have no idea who it is at this point. It might be, Demarcus Robinson? I don't think that's going to get you anywhere. Give me the Niners on this one. Give me the points. I don't really think it's going to be that close of a game.
And also the Rams, they have a really bad offensive line. It showed in week 1 for sure. And with this defensive line coming in for the 49ers, I just don't think it's going to be very good for Stafford at all. You don't have Puka, you don't have Cooper Kupp, and you're going to try to get the ball out pretty quick to somebody who, I don't know, your tight end, what was his name? Caught a bunch of passes.
Higbee.
Nope.
Right?
The other one. Man, that guy. You're going to give it to him, and I just don't think it's going to work against the Niners. The other side, Purdy, I think Brandon Ayuk's going to get it right this week. He's going to have a big game. Give me the Niners to win this one, and I think the Niners will cover the spread in this one to bounce back from the Minnesota game. Did you
I
find
am
that tight?
trying. I am trying so hard to find this tight end, and it is not working out for me.
That says a lot
Where
about your number one.
where are the Rams at? I can't find them. Oh, there they are. Let's see here. Box score.
I know you're going to say it, and I'm going to be like, that guy. I know it. I knew it. Should have known it.
We're talking for the Rams, right?
We're talking for the Rams.
Colby Parkinson.
Colby Parkinson. That's it.
Yeah.
As soon as you said Colby, I knew it. Got it. That guy right there. If that's your best receiver, sorry.
Yeah, you're in for something.
This may be the actual game of the week right here. I think this could have the possibility to be the best game. The last 425 game, the Detroit Lions travel out to Glendale to face the Arizona Cardinals. Detroit's a 3-point favorite. Gage, what do you think about this matchup? Do you think this has a possibility to be the best game of the week?
I do. I think it's definitely up there, at least for game of the week. Obviously, not going to be able to know until it actually plays out. It's going to be good, I think. I think it's going to be a high-scoring one. Neither defense is really that good. Detroit, you have Aiden Hutchinson. What do you have? 4.5 sacks, I believe, last week. But outside of that, you really had nothing. And excuse me, the Cardinals, like we just mentioned, kind of killed the Rams a little bit. Now, can they do it in back-to-back weeks? That's my question. Can Marvin Harrison get going? Can this kid keep up potential offensive rookie of the year status? I think it's possible. Man, coming into the season, if you would have said week 3, Lions Cardinals, that's the matchup to look at, I would have said you're crazy. But this is kind of turned into a good game. I've already had my sleeper pick of the week, but I'm gonna go with another underdog. I'm gonna take the Cardinals in this one. I think they come out with another win. Yeah. Surprisingly, give me the Cardinals. Obviously, give me the points.
Whoa. Man, I'm gonna have to disagree again on this one. I'm gonna have to go with the Lions here. They're coming off of a loss last week, a surprising loss. Well, I don't know if it's surprising, but I think we both picked the Lions last week.
I think so.
I think that they'll come out. There's not going to be much defense in this game, so this is going to be a fun game to watch. They're going to go up and down the field, I think, a little bit. Marvin Harrison Jr., great game last week, first half at least. Great first half, like awesome. Considering the first week he had 1 catch for 4 yards. Definitely a bounce back. I mean, if he had 2 catches for 8, he would have had a much better game, but he had a monster game. Kyler Murray has found his new favorite target, I think, there. And I think that they'll connect pretty good this week too. But I think the Lions will come back and, is Jameson Williams, is he still hurt? I know he didn't play last week after his monster first week game. But Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta, the running game, Montgomery, and Jahmyr Gibbs. I think there's just too much on that side of the ball. Give me the Lions and give me the push. I think it'll be a close one. 3-point game. Give me the Lions to win that one.
And Jameson Williams did play last week. He went 5 for 79.
Did he play? Man, I thought they said he was inactive.
No, I think he got – what, did he get hurt during the game?
Maybe he got hurt during the game. Maybe that's what I was thinking.
But he's not on the injury report, so I think he is good to go this week.
Maybe I'm thinking of a different Williams. Mike Williams?
Possibly. Mike Williams, I don't think exists anymore, so that's fine.
Jonah Williams?
But I could throw out a Williams name, but only Steeler fans, and maybe not even all of them would know it. Rodney Williams just got elevated from the practice squad this week. Who knows?
Well, there was some Williams, I'm telling you, that was out last week. Anyways, we move on. Sunday night game. The Kansas City Chiefs travel to Atlanta to face the Atlanta Falcons. Chiefs are a 3-point favorite. Gage, do you like the Falcons to continue their winning ways in prime time with Kirk Cousins?
I know I picked them last week. I can't do it this week. I can't. I can't think of a world where Kirk Cousins has 2 decent back-to-back primetime games. Maybe he'll have a great primetime game, and it won't just be decent, but I highly doubt it. Mahomes, hasn't had a good start to the season yet. Close to the top of the lead in picks. Has touchdown passes, but Travis Kelce hasn't been getting involved. They've been getting Rashee Rice. He had a touchdown last week against the Bengals. Running back wise, Isaiah Pacheco. Was he put on IR, I believe, potentially out the rest of the season. So that brings your undrafted rookie, Carson Steele, as your starter. Carson Steele, I thought, was phenomenal in the preseason, just running guys over. Is he going to be able to do that against the starters? I think so. I think the Steele guy is going to be a steal for the Chiefs. Give me the Chiefs in this one. Give me the points.
You're only saying that because you're from the Steel City. I get it. It's okay. I see the puns going there. It's all right.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
So, last week, if Patrick Mahomes doesn't have such a bad game with the 2 picks and all that, I may go and be like, Kirk Cousins is coming 2 weeks in a row in prime time and getting the dub. But, Patrick Mahomes didn't have such a great game. They escaped last week. They escaped with a win. This week, they travel to Atlanta. Pacheco's out, broken leg. Probably be out for the season. They say 6 to 8 weeks. It's a broken leg. I'd say probably longer. He wanted to come back in the game last week after breaking it. I mean, that's the dude's, crazy. Mm-hmm. But I think that Kansas City will bounce back this week, and I think that they'll fall to the Atlanta Falcons. Give me the Falcons in my upset pick of the week. Atlanta takes down the Chiefs at home. Kirk Cousins shows it in Atlanta. He's primetime Kirk Cousins. Let's go, Falcons.
Just because I took him last week in prime time as my upset doesn't mean you have to do it this week. Wow.
Haven't picked an upset yet. There's 2 games left. I was like, man, this is it right here. Circle it right there. Bijan Robinson, just run them all over. Let's go. Let's go, Falcons.
Wow, I'm stunned. I'm blown away. You got me. Good job.
Well, we head to Monday night, where we have not 1, but 2 Monday night games coming up. 7:30 on ESPN, the winless Jacksonville Jaguars travel to Orchard Park to face 2-0 Buffalo Bills. Buffalo's a 5-point favorite. Gage, do you think Jacksonville will get it right in Buffalo on a Monday night with the Bills Mafia drinking all day and getting fired up for the evening game?
So you would know something crazy. I did not realize until just now, looking at the schedule, that there was 2 night games. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, how does that work out? Like, wow, okay. And then I see the times, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's 2 Monday night games. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Even more night football. Love it. Jacksonville, talked about it earlier. Against Cleveland last week, they did not play their best football. They played their old Jacksonville style football of just sucking. Buffalo, on the other hand, starting out 2-0, I don't think anyone would have guessed that. Losing Stephon Diggs, losing Gabe Davis. Your number 1 receiver is, I don't even know who, probably Keon Coleman,
or
I would assume. Or Khalil Shakir, yeah. Those are 2 names that are not, household number 1 receiver names. But I think they continue. I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills in this one. I'm going to take the points. Jacksonville, they just never fail to disappoint me, and I think they continue.
Yeah, and I think we're going to end up looking at Trevor Lawrence in the long run as a bust. He had 1 good season so far, and he hasn't really lived up to anything since then. Buffalo last week destroyed the Miami Dolphins, even with Tua in the game. That game was not close when he went out. Buffalo was dominating. So I think Buffalo continues that this week. And it's impressive for Josh Allen. You've got James Cook still, and you got Dalton Kincaid, but you don't have any of your wide receivers that was your big weapons from the last few years. Give me Buffalo to win this one. I think Buffalo covers. And, they're going to go through all kinds of tables and everything before that game, and it's going to get wild up there in week 3.
I was surprised earlier. I saw a graphic of stats, and I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but it was like Bryce Young's first however many games he's played, compared to Trevor Lawrence's first same amount of games, their stats were oddly similar. There was I believe, 1 or 2 win difference. And then, was it Trevor had like 4 more interceptions, and Bryce had like 1 or 2 less touchdown passes, and that's it. So when you think of bust quarterbacks right now, you're thinking Bryce Young. Maybe you should be thinking Trevor Lawrence.
So here's a question. Just getting off, the games for a second. We got one game left. Of course, we're picking it here in just a few. Bryce Young. Do you think they should have given him a little bit more time there, or do you think? I mean, because he's started 18 games so far, and they've pulled the plug already on him. Is that too quick?
Yes, I think so. The only reason I say that, actually, there's a couple. One, you got brought into the Carolina Panthers. Their system's not good. They weren't good when they had Christian McCaffrey. He was their only offense. They really haven't been good since Cam Newton's rookie season, really. So that system is all messed up right now. If they would have took C.J. Stroud, right, they would probably be in the same situation right now. Now you look at, like, is Bryce Young the bust? I think it's going to be one of those things that he gets traded or signed somewhere else, whatever the case may be, to get onto a new team. And then we see the Bryce Young that everyone expected out of college. I think it's just a system right now. If I was all about benching quarterbacks after their first 18 games, I would never have wanted Kenny Pickett to play at all last year. It's one of those things that you got to do what you got to do, right? You're looking at it right now. Yeah, we haven't succeeded in how many years? So far, we're out 0-2. 0-2. I think 3 games into the season is too quick to bench your second-year quarterback. I'm all for bringing in that veteran quarterback, letting your rookie learn. Andy Dalton's not someone you really want to learn from right now. He's towards the end of his career, and I don't know how much I would trust Bryce Young to learn from Andy Dalton. Not that Dalton wouldn't be a good teacher, but I don't know how much Young would take in. It is hard. I saw a video the other day. Bryce Young, a fan asked him to sign a picture and a football, I believe it was, and Young said, "Yeah, sure." But the kid just looked so sad. He looked so depressed, so beat down. And the fan, told him, "Keep your head up. You got this." And Young was just like, "Yeah," and signed and walked away. He looked so defeated. Like, it was so sad to see. I think a change of scenery is what Young needs, and I think right now, no quarterback would be really successful with that team.
We've talked before on here about, what if C.J. Stroud was drafted last year first and Bryce Young went to Houston? Would C.J. Stroud have the same struggles Bryce Young has? Maybe. He may have been a little bit better of a quarterback, but he still doesn't have anything around him. In Houston, he's got some pieces. Bryce Young would have had some pieces around him. Carolina has not tried to put any pieces around Bryce Young to really give him a shot in this league so far after 18 games. So, I mean, you want to bench him, that's fine. You want to have the veteran leader come in. What is the point at this point in time of having Andy Dalton come in and take over? You're going to lose most of your games anyway. Why not just have Bryce Young get out there and get the experience? Unless you plan on making a big splash in the offseason, with like a bunch of free agent signings or plan on doing something big in the draft, I don't see any reason to bench Bryce Young, this early into his career. But, it is what it is. But 18 games, I don't think is a big enough sample size in this league for a number 1 draft pick. I mean, you can't give up on a guy that quick. But
no.
Welcome to Carolina.
Welcome to the NFL, Bryce Young. We hope you're not happy. Get benched.
Best of luck being a backup. Yeah. Oh, man. The final game of the week, 8:15. The Washington Commanders, coming off of their big win last week over the Giants, travel to Cincinnati to face the Cincinnati Bengals, who are winless. Cincinnati is a 7-point favorite in this one. I'm pretty sure the biggest spread of the week, once again, the last time they had the biggest spread of the week was New England and they lost. Gage, what do you think about this Monday night matchup between the Bengals and the Commanders?
I think the big question for this game is, can Washington win with their kicker going, I don't know, 10 for 10 maybe this week? You won 7 for 7, so why not just pump it up a little bit more? Uh, man, I'm going to do you a favor in this one. I'm going to take Cincinnati. Jaden Daniels, he's not looked bad through his first 2 games, right? He's looked great on the ground. He's got some work to do passing wise, but he's fast as heck, can move when he has to. I think if they were to get him one more weapon, you got Terry McLaurin, awesome. You need another one. You need someone to take the pressure off Terry a little bit. Defensive wise, though, I don't think Washington's done bad. No one really expected their defense to kind of be like this, and they've played pretty well for what they were expected to do. Now, a lot of that has to come with the signing of Bobby Wagner in the offseason. They added him. He's probably now their defensive captain. But I think Cincinnati's just too much for him. I think Burrow's going to be looking for revenge a little bit after last week's, heartbreaker of a loss. So give me Cincinnati, but I'm going to take Washington to cover. So give me Cincinnati, give me Washington on the points.
I'm going to take Washington also as well to cover. I think the Bengals will win, though. It's like with the Ravens. I don't think the Bengals start the season 0-3, especially after that heartbreaker last week and then the inexplicable loss to the Patriots in week 1. Will they get T. Higgins back this week? I don't know. Hopefully. He needs to get back out there, get to playing, try to make that money. You're in a contract year that you want to prove something. Bengals started to get things going last week offensively. Burrow's got to make a few better decisions than he did last week, with the fumble, with not catching the blitz coming his way in a pivotal down. The defense for the Bengals played really good last week. Cam Taylor-Britt, like you said, may have had the play of the year with the interception. Also, Kansas City could not block Trey Hendrickson. He was in that backfield a lot. Jaden Daniels scrambles a lot more than Patrick Mahomes does. Heard somebody say that they think that Jaden Daniels is RG3 reincarnated. And I'm like, I mean, I can see the similarities, but RG3 is still alive. How do you reincarnate if, he's still living? I don't get it. But I think that he is similar to how RG3 started his career in Washington as well. But be careful with the running because that's what got RG3 into a lot of trouble, and his career was never the same after he got hurt. Plus, they're playing on that crappy field up there, in Washington. That's where Burrow got hurt. Alex Smith got hurt. I mean, a lot of guys get hurt on that field there. He's playing on that field. They're not playing on that field this Monday night, but in the future for Jaden Daniels, just be careful. But I'm going to go with the Bengals in this one, but I think Washington keeps it close on this Monday night, but the Bengals come away with their first win of the season, and we're back in the race for the North.
Yeah, I don't know if comparing Jaden Daniels to RG3 is a really good comparison, considering RG3 had, one good season? Yes. Yeah, running-wise, yeah. But Daniels needs to throw the ball a bit more, I think, if he wants to have that any sort of comparison. With the Bengals, Jamar Chase just needs to sign, even though he's halted contract talks right now. He turned down, what was it, a $140 million deal or something like that over 4 years.
Yeah.
How do you turn that down unless you want to go to free agency?
Yeah, it's crazy. And, he lost it last week, on the field. Mm-hmm. He got that penalty. He thought that it was a, hip drop tackle. It was not. He was wrong on that. Joe Burrow tried to calm him down, and he's like, pushing Joe Burrow away, and they're supposed to be best friends, and it's like, oh, man, maybe get your priorities straight here, man. Let's just go out and play ball. what are you looking for? He took out a $50 million insurance, on himself for the year in case anything happens to him. And it's like, man, I don't know what's going on in your head, but like, just go out and play ball. Worry about your extension later. But I mean, what do you want from him? I mean, how much money do you really want? I mean, you want to set the market, for the next 10 years or whatever. I mean, but I don't know. But for this week, they're going to win this game.
It's like, this isn't baseball. There is a real salary cap in NFL.
Yeah.
So we can only give you so much money, man.
Yeah.
And even if it was a hip drop tackle, we saw last week, obviously, refs aren't going to call it. No. Joe Mixon, that's how he got hurt.
Yep.
So, and I heard them explaining it during that game. There's 4 things the refs have to look for it to be a hip drop tackle. And with how fast and just how overall good these athletes are, how are the refs able to see if 4 things happen in live speed?
They can't.
You can't.
No.
So I don't know if they should treat it like how college treats a targeting call and let it go to review. I don't know. But you can't expect the refs to say, oh, yeah, I saw all 4 of them. That's a hip drop tackle.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, you can't get mad. I know Mixon did. I understand why. But you can't get mad if they don't call a penalty on it. You're stuck between a rock and a hard place on that.
And to keep going at the official after the fact, it's like, all right, man, just you got to get back. Calm down. They're going to miss calls. When you look back at the tape, I hope he looked back at the tape and was like, oh, okay, maybe that wasn't a hip drop tackle. Sorry about that. But, like you said, Joe Mixon, that was legit. It was a hip drop tackle on that one for sure. Got him hurt. That's why they're trying to get it out of the game. But Chase, that wasn't a hip drop tackle.
It wasn't even close.
Wasn't even close. And with that is the picks for the week. Week 3 in the books. And the Jets are winning this game by just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. What a great Thursday night game to start the week off. I got a feeling we're going to have some better games than what tonight's game is.
I hope so. I'm so glad that pay for Amazon Prime, and this is what I get to watch. Like, gee.
Yeah, wow. I can't wait to sit here and watch the Patriots on Thursday night. It's just great.
I hope it's the only primetime game they have. Oh, they are so bad.
Next week's primetime game ain't much better either. It's the Cowboys and the Giants.
Yeah.
It's rough on Thursday nights.
They put the worst games on the paid platform.
Yeah. So, I mean, you don't really need Amazon Prime, it's whatever.
Just keep up to date. ESPN app, just watch the play-by-play.
Yeah. I'll do the free Prime when the Bengals are on Thursday night, Oh, man. Well, that'll do it for this week. We'll catch you back next week for week 4. Gage, have a good one, man.
You too. See ya.
We'll see. Did it stop? It says stopping.
Okay.
It says stopping. It's still counting.
It's funny because mine still says recording, so I don't know. I noticed that on last week's one. I was like, that's not how that sounded at all. Like, I was just like, you sent me the link. I was like, all right, let's click on it. I thought maybe it's just YouTube. Maybe that's the way it was. And I go over to Spotify, listen to that one. I'm like, nope, it's still the same. I'm like, I don't know what's going on here, but it doesn't sound like that. Yeah. Yeah. So how long until Jacoby Brissett goes to the bench and we start seeing Drake May? Wouldn't it be something if they said, all right, Jacoby, you're being benched. Joe Milton, you're the starter. Yeah. I think he'll be better than Jacoby, but obviously that's not saying much. But, they just showed the stats. Your rookie wide receiver, Polk. Jalen Polk, I think it is. He's your number 1. Like, what? Like, you got to get something. Yeah, you signed Antonio Gibson. Congrats, he's having a starter. Like, well, come on. I was going to say, I couldn't tell who got the sack, but... Man, this is just sad. You go from Dynasty with Tom Brady to this. Yeah. Do you watch the Pat McAfee show? So when he has Bill Belichick on there, oh my God, it's just awesome to listen to this guy talk. And he has a personality, which I never would have thought of looking at him on the sideline. Yeah, I tried watching the Manning cast. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I don't understand half the time they have like actors and stuff on there. I'm like, who cares what Kevin Hart has to say about the NFL? Like, come on. Yeah, I love that commercial. I forget who it's with, but where he's like, they want someone who can run a 40, not isn't 40. I'm like, oh my god, that's just funny every time. Oh no. I'm upset they don't show that during the pit games. Yeah. Is Manning the starter now down there? No. So someone made a comment, I forget if it was Facebook, Instagram, where it was, but they were like, the Manning family would not let Eli Manning go to, what was it, the Chargers or whatever. Do they really think they're gonna let Arch Manning go to the Panthers? Like, no. You know what? Good point. No, I don't think so. Sounds good. You good for next Thursday? All right, absolutely. Alrighty.